What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Ruse Reviews, and today we are chatting about Smooth by Nicholas Lawrence. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, what is Smooth? Smooth is I want to say penetration effect, but it's not. It's more of a melting effect of a chapstick melting through a banknote, a receipt, a card, a piece of clothing. Loads of applications for this sort of effect, and let's get into this now because it is quite cool. So what you get in the package is the gimmick itself, along with a card which has the details for the download and the password. When I first saw this, was blown away by the visuals of this happening, and when you initially see it, you think, okay, the gimmick's got to be somehow, built into the chapstick. There's something weird going on with this chapstick. But after you perform this effect, you can cleanly hand it out to be examined. So if you can cleanly hand it out to be examined, this is the perfect pocket tool, right? This should be your everyday carry. Bit of debate on this. A lot of guys don't really carry chapstick. And again, it's not really an issue. I actually start by just taking it out casually, and it is a normal chapstick. There it is, and you can go and put something on as you're chatting to somebody about something, and then go, "Oh, can I borrow your banknote for a second? I wanted to show you something quite cool," or whatever you want to do, whatever pattern you want to get into it. But I sort of take it out quite nonchalantly as I'm chatting to somebody. If you wanna be seen doing that, I mean, that's your own hookup. But I don't really have a problem using one of these. I have quite dry lips anyway, so these are always great, and I always carry some with me. The effect itself is quite similar to a couple of old effects that are on the market. Those of you that know effects such as Sharpie through anything or pen through anything may sort of feel like you know this effect before. But there are a couple of other subtleties to this that make this effect like a different level to those sort of effects. It is crazy how visual that melting through a banknote looks, and in fact I've got a video now of me doing this for my social platforms, so let's get into that. I hope you like that. That was just a little something that I did in my driveway just to show you sort of what it looks like. My performance of it has actually got slightly better since then. That was just me messing around the first day I got it, but I think it looks still quite cool. The initial melt and the fact that you can actually see not only just the white tip but a bit of the black as well underneath. It looks really, really cool. The download itself, Nicholas goes into great detail about how this works. The actual handling for it can be a little bit tricky, and if you have quite small hands or hands that maybe aren't great at sort of covering too much, it might be slightly harder, but it really isn't an issue. It really isn't too much of an issue. You just have to get around that and sort of work it into your own thing, really, because I know most of you who have got smaller hands will know that you have to make slight adaptations for certain tricks that you do. What you're seeing here is the main part of the gimmick. There are a couple of other things that this comes with that I'm not able to show you, but this is the main part of the gimmick. Very well made. Whoever's gone into this, and as you can see, it's a little bit dirty around the bottom. That's how much I've used it quite a lot. The people that sort of have gone into making this have really taken their time to sort of think how this would work, how it would look. That visual melt really looks cool. I haven't tried it on someone's clothing yet, but you can see that in the trailer. It looks really cool when Nicholas does it, and Nicholas's hands sort of make everything sort of look quite cool and visual. He's that sort of performer. The thing with this product is this is an everyday carry, right? Personally, I've done this a couple of times at gigs, and it's sort of been on the offbeat. It's sort of not been part of my main routine. It's sort of been at the bar afterwards and someone's gone, "Oh, can you do something cool just whilst you're packing up and leaving," or whatever you're doing. And I've just done this on the fly. It's much like light it up in the way that it's something that you would carry on you at all times. You know, if you're having a ciggy, you have light it up. If you've got dry lips, you have a chapstick. It's very cool for these purposes. I just wouldn't use it at a paying event, all right? And I think that's pretty obvious. There are plenty of other penetration effects that you would use, but I think maybe it might not suit my character too much to pull out a chapstick at an event and start doing this with someone's banknote. It would still look cool and it would still be workable, but I'm not sure if it would suit me. It would probably suit some of you more out there. As I say, this on the fly, when you're hanging out, you know, whatever, and just doing it just with friends or family or just random people, you know, on a night out or at a bar or whatever, it looks really cool for those situations. That is where this sort of product shines, because, you know, it is so minimal and it's so, you know, inconspicuous. It really is an inconspicuous item. So, a couple of good and bad points on this effect. Good point. The teaching in the download is extremely well thought through by Nicholas. He goes through all the detail. He goes through all the little nuances in performance, sort of how to get the most out of this gimmick. Because there are some really cool bits when he's showing you the display on the bill and then he pushes the chapstick through that just look breathtaking, and it's really clever how it sort of all comes together in one piece, you know. A bad point: if you're a fella, you've got to carry a chapstick around with you. I'm sorry, that's what it takes. In the US, I believe it's more common to carry a chapstick around. In the UK, not so much. I do, because as I say, I sometimes have dry lips. Mine are quite dry at the moment. Then again, if you pull one out, you've got to take the hit that someone's going, "What are you doing, mate? You putting lipstick on?" You know, it's up to you what you want to do with that. It's so casual when I do it. Sometimes people just forget that I've done it, you know. Just do that, and before I put it away, I go, "Oh, can I try something with your receipt or your bill?" You know, that's a bad point. I mean, whether it's a bad point or not, that's up to you guys, but it is just something to be mindful of in a performing situation. A good point: the gimmick is extremely well made. You are not going to worry about this running out. You are not going to worry about this breaking. There is a little added piece to this gimmick which maybe isn't as strong as the other parts of it, but if you maintain it, if you look after it, I mean, you really don't have to do anything except from keeping it in quite a safe place. That is literally all you can do. Then that part of the gimmick will last you for a long time. As I say, extremely well made. Thumbs up. One last point. I mean, it's not a bad point or a good point really. It's where you would perform this. As I mentioned before, it's not something that I would do like in a suit and tie or in a black tie event, pulling out a chapstick on a table. It's not something that I would do personally. I know there's some guys that will happily do that and just for the final effect, and it will look cool and it will suit them. That doesn't suit me. As I say, this suits me more in a casual environment. One final thing to note, obviously this says chap stuff on it. The common brand is Chapstick, so they've clearly done that so they don't get sued. You are able to make your own, I believe. There are a few people in the community that have done that and have wrapped chapstick like a casing round here. I haven't really bothered because no one really cares in the UK that much. If you're just putting this on, that's enough for them. If you're really worried about chap stuff and you want to change it to chapstick, that's quite cool. I believe there are a few other effects as well, like colour changing chapsticks where you can shake them. I think it's a bit of a thing now for social media anyway. You can do that and you can make, you know, colour changing chapstick, and then you can push the chapstick through a note, and it's quite cool. You can set up a whole little routine using these little things. I'm waiting for someone to do a matrix with chapstick lids. That would be quite funny as well. But the product itself is brilliant. It does exactly what it says it will do, and it's really visual, like really visual. You've seen from the video, and please go and watch the trailer as well. So thanks Nicholas Lawrence, thanks all the guys at P3 Magic, and thanks for releasing such a great product. I will see you soon. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll speak to you shortly. Ciao.